I now call upon Mother Teresa to receive the diploma and the gold medal.
This is Mother Teresa, and these are the people cheering for her as she received the Nobel Peace Prize. But little do they know, she was an evil who took pleasure in watching people suffer. Let me tell you a story. Decades ago, in one of Mother Teresa's homes for needy people, a man in his final moments is lying in agony. The staff offers him no painkiller or any other medicine, nothing but just a cup of water. Why? Because Mother Teresa believed that suffering brought people closer to God. This is where the story of dark truth about Mother Teresa begins. Mother Teresa, born on August 26, 1910, in Skopje, now in North Macedonia, grew up in a Catholic family. From a young age, she felt a strong calling to religious life. At 18, she left home to join the Sisters of Loreto in Ireland, where she learned English before being sent to India to teach at girls' school in Calcutta. While working as a teacher in 1946, she experienced what she described as a call within a call to leave the convent and dedicate her life to helping the poor. In 1950, she founded the Missionaries of Charity, beginning her famous work with destitute, sick, and dying in the slums of Calcutta, which gained her global recognition. Although she may have started with good intention, but the way she ran her hospices and cared for sick later caused widespread controversy and debate around the world. Mother Teresa's hospices were often described as place of misery. Despite receiving millions in donations, the condition of these homes were shocking. Patients weren't treated with the care they needed. Patients were not even provided with painkillers to reduce their pains. They were left there to die. No one working there was a medically trained physician or nurse. Even the needles were used over and over again, thus cleaning them with cold water. Basic medical equipment was often absent.
They're dying. They're not being given a great deal of medical care. They're not being given painkillers, drips, the needles they used and reused over and over and over, and you would see some of the nuns rinsing needles under the cold water tap. And I asked one of them why she was doing it. And she said, well, to clean it. And I said, yes, but why are you not sterilizing it? Why are you not boiling water and sterilizing your needles? She says, there's no point. There's no time.
Mother Teresa believed that suffering was a way to feel closer to God. She thought that enduring pain could be a way to find redemption.
We see Christ in the broken body and we touch him. And that touch comes from the deep faith that Christ cannot deceive.
It was her obsession with suffering and her obsession that people need to suffer in order to come close to Jesus.
Reports indicate that Mother Teresa instructed her nuns to perform baptism discreetly, often under the guise of providing comfort. For instance, nuns would ask patients if they wanted a ticket to heaven, and if they expressed any affirmative response, the sister would proceed with the baptism. This was done without openly discussing the theological implication or ensuring that patients fully understood what they were consenting to.
We call baptism ticket for semester. We ask the person, do you want a blessing by which your sins will be forgiven and you will see God? And they have never refused. But it's so beautiful to see the people die with so much joy.
As one former nun described, the sister was then to pretend that she was just cooling the patient's head with a wet cloth while in fact she was baptizing him. Mother Teresa believed it was her duty to ensure that as many people as possible received the sacrament before they died. Many patients, particularly those from Hindu or Muslim background, were baptized without a clear understanding of act or its significance within the Christianity. Susan Shields, a former member of Mother Teresa's Missionaries of Charity, noted that sisters were instructed to conduct this baptism in society to avoid backlash from families or communities. This has led to accusations that Mother Teresa's organization prioritized conversion over compassionate care. Mother Teresa's connection to political figures and controversial people have been widely criticized. People have questioned how she managed these relationships and what it meant for her charity work. Mother Teresa had a notable relationship with Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. Teresa argued that her friendship with Gandhi, particularly during emergency period 1975 to 1977, allowed her to make claims about state of India that were seen as misleading. She reportedly stated, people are happier, there are more jobs, there are no strikes, which contradicted the reality of civil liberties being suspended during that time. Mother Teresa's connection with Charles Keating, the man behind the financial scandal that ruined lives, had given millions to her organization. Yet, rather than distance herself, Mother Teresa publicly praised him and even asked for leniency during his trial. Keating donated over $1 million to Mother Teresa's Missionaries of Charity. His financial support was substantial and came at a time when her organization was expanding its operations. In return for his donation, Mother Teresa provided Keating with positive public relations.
Keating, now in prison in California for his conviction on security fraud charges, was characteristically confident when he emerged from the federal courthouse in Tucson on March 18th.
During Keating's trial for fraud in 1992, Mother Teresa wrote a letter to presiding judge Lance Ito. In this letter, she requested leniency for Keating, stating that he had always been kind and generous to poor. She urged the judge to do what Jesus would do in this sentencing. Paul Turley, a prosecutor involved in the case, responded to Mother Teresa's letter by informing her of the fraudulent nature of Keating's wealth and suggested that she return the donation made to her organization. He argued that it was morally imperative to return money that had been unlawfully taken from victims of Keating's fraud. However, Mother Teresa never replied to his request. This silence has been interpreted as an attempt to distance herself from negative implications of accepting tainted money. Mother Teresa's financial management and the allocation of funds within her organization, the Missionaries of Charity, have been subject of significant scrutiny and controversy. Despite receiving millions in donations, little of the money went towards improving the condition of her auspicious, raising troubling questions about where the fund really went.
Mother Teresa's money is mostly spent on religious activities and not on the poor. Missionaries of Charity is the only Indian charitable organization which do not publish its accounts for the public to obtain them.
Estimates suggest that by the end of Mother Teresa's life, her organization was receiving up to $100 million annually. However, a 1991 investigation by German magazine Stern revealed that only about 7% of these funds were actually used for charitable activities. This raises concern about efficiency and transparency of financial management within the Missionaries of Charity. These funds were reportedly spread thinly across 610 missions in 123 countries, indicating that while organization was expansive, the quality of care provided was often compromised. A significant portion of funds collected by Missionaries of Charity is believed to flow into accounts managed by Vatican Bank.
Much of our foreign money is kept in the Vatican Bank.
The connection has led to suspicions about how donations were allocated and the lack of transparency regarding their use. While Mother Teresa is revered by millions as a symbol of compassion and selflessness, the darker side of her legacy raises critical questions that cannot be ignored. Her unwavering belief in redemptive power of suffering often came at the expense of providing proper care to sick and dying. Did her focus on glorifying suffering in the name of God overshadow her duty to relieve pain and offer true compassion? Despite the immense global donation her organization received, the question remains, why were her auspices so underfunded and lacking basic medical supplies if millions of dollars were flowing in? These are the uncomfortable truths that challenge the saintly image of Mother Teresa and force us to reconsider the real impact of her work.
In 1984, a ghastly chemical spill from the Union Carbide plant in the Indian town of Bhopal took 2,500 lives and poisoned thousands more. This was an act not of God, but of a negligent multinational corporation. Mother Teresa's advice to the angry victims?
Forgive. Forgive.